You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is John David Wells. Our telephone number is 844-RADIO-US, 844-723-4687. It's amazing what people will apologize for. You can find us, by the way, on our chat room, our video chat. We are streaming live. And you can see what's going on in the video chat room, which is always fun. You can go to facebook.com/The Wells Report. All right, so here we go. Speaking of the squad, there's more. I know. It's like a train crash. You just can't turn away. How do we say this? I think the novelty is beginning to wear off to members in Congress. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's call to get rid of the Department of Homeland Security and to establish a 9/11-style commission to investigate White House border policies are both uninformed and dangerous, according to Senator Martha McSally of Arizona. Today, Senator McSally, a 26-year veteran who was stationed in Saudi Arabia at the time of 9/11, says that her response was to AOC's plan. And she goes, quote, "What the hell is she talking about," unquote. McSally says she prefers to work on closing loopholes, fixing the laws on which Democrats are refusing to come to the table. She is a Republican, and she's correct. Senator McSally has been begging Democrats for years to come to the table, and that she's glad many of them have finally traveled to the border to see the crisis firsthand. She urged members of Congress to join her and Senator Lindsey Graham on a bill they've been working on to get to the president's desk and stop this crisis. Listen to this. Current law incentivizes trafficking of children, said McSally. She explained that if an adult were to show up with a child illegally, they would be let go within 20 days. She explained that she, together with Senator Graham, is working to close loopholes to stop the incentive for this dangerous journey. She hopes Democrats will join her despite their lack of action. They wanted to deny detention space and ICE beds. They don't want barriers, no border wall. They don't want to close the loopholes that are incentivizing this behavior, especially that's what's overwhelming and causing it to break. We're open to their ideas. Senator Graham and I have both said that. Come to the table. Let's fix the crisis. Stop the crazy, dangerous rhetoric in humanitarian crisis, which is really being exacerbated by their lack of action. She's completely correct on this. Completely. On Saturday, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer visited the border and said he would like to work with Republicans to tackle the crisis on the southern border. See, because if you're working on the crisis, then you don't actually have to solve it. You're just working on it. You're discussing it. You're coming together and negotiating. Okay. Following the visit, the president tweeted that he looks forward to speaking with Schumer to come up with a solution to the crisis. Quote, Senator Chuck Schumer has finally gone to the southern border with Democrat senators. This is a great thing. Nearby, he missed a large group of illegal immigrants trying to enter the USA illegally. They wildly rushed the Border Patrol. Some agents were badly injured. Based on the comments made by Senator Schumer, he must have seen how dangerous and bad for our country the border is in. It's not a manufactured crisis, as the fake news media and the Democrat partners want to portray. I will set up the meeting ASAP. This is something that simply must occur. And I got to tell you, AOC, the squad, they have essentially been the people that have perpetuated this mess. And people are finally beginning to realize that these people, I'm talking about the squad, they are greatly responsible for a lot of things. Representative Dan Crenshaw of Texas also said this regarding Ocasio-Cortez call for a 9/11-style commission into the border crisis. Crenshaw says she just wants to add fuel to the fire. Crenshaw says this. Notice they never come up with a solution. They talk about overcrowded facilities. They never have a solution. They don't have a solution for the immigration system. They said it shouldn't be defined by the administration. Well, we do have laws right now. It says you can't illegally cross the border. That's immigration policy set by Congress. The law's in place. We need to enforce it. What they want is more commissions like this, more investigations they can point to call the president evil. That's what they want. Crenshaw says that he's been pushing for a law collecting data on crimes in sanctuary cities. That law was blocked by Democrats. Why would that be? Why would a law that specifically tracked crimes in sanctuary cities be turned aside by Democrats? Have you thought about this? Why is this? I'll tell you why. Because they don't want to hear the answers. They don't want you to hear the answers either. They don't want to talk about the rapes and the DUIs and the murders and the kidnappings in sanctuary cities. They don't want to talk about it. They want to talk about how these sanctuary cities have finally conquered the racism of their police officers. It's outrageous. I'm worried that the Democrats like this crisis too much. I'm worried as I've seen them fight every single, even the smallest measures to help fix our immigration problems they fight against. They don't want walls. They don't want to fix the asylum loopholes. They're talking about decriminalizing illegal border crossings. Crenshaw said a solution Democrats like, presidential candidate Bernie Sanders and others are pushing, the $15 minimum wage, is an ill-conceived, bad economic policy that hurts the people it promises to help. It's true. So what's going to happen with that? That's something that's completely off the topic. But it's something that, if you know, the $15 minimum wage, your hamburger will be made by a robot faster than you can say, hey, I can't tell the difference. They don't have to pay robots $15 an hour. That means the $7.50 or $8 an hour that kid was making just a couple of minutes ago, right before they rolled in the Burgomeister 3000, that guy has to go find another job. Nice going. By all means, let's make it cheaper for people to buy robots to take the place of human beings. Let's make it cheaper to buy those robots than it is to employ human beings. Let's do that. Fred Fleitz is exercised about the virulent anti-Semitism and anti-Israeli views held by Representative Ilhan Omar. Everybody's talking about the president saying these people should go back to their countries, fix the garbage in these corrupt countries, and then come back and show us how they did it. But why is it that Ilhan Omar can say, you know, we really need to do a resolution that compares Israel to Nazi Germany, and why can she get away with that as not being racist? Why is that? I know why it is. It's because she's not a white male. If a white male had done that, she would have been an instant Nazi socialist. She'd be an instant neo-Nazi. But she's Ilhan Omar. Is she from America? No, she says she's from Somalia. Oh, okay. She wants to support the boycott, divestment, and sanctions movement that seeks to wage economic warfare on Israel. Fred Fleitz writes, while falsely labeling President Trump's legitimate criticisms of her radical positions and bigoted statements as racist, Omar continues to demonize Israel and seeks to turn it into a pariah state cut off from economic, cultural, and academic ties with the rest of the world. She said in her resolution, Americans of conscience have a proud history of participating in boycotts to advocate for human rights abroad, including boycotting Nazi Germany from March 1933 to October 1941 in response to the dehumanization of the Jewish people in the lead up to the Holocaust. My goodness, she thinks she's so clever. standing up against the suppression of the poor Jewish people as she works to suppress the poor Jewish people. What a jerk. But it simply is not racist. It's not anti-Semitism. It's just, in some circles, the right thing to do, she says. Okay, whatever. No, the president is the evil one. This person, she's just one of the squad. She's okay. By the way, in case you're wondering, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer of New York called the BDS movement anti-Semitic and anti-Israel. We must continue to stand firm against the profoundly biased campaigning to delegitimize the state of Israel. Where there is such a double standard, where the world treats everybody one way and Jews or the Jewish state another way, there's only one word for it: anti-Semitism. It's ragged, rabid, corrosive, anti-Jewish bigotry. But what about Ilhan Omar? What about Rashida Tlaib? Do they talk about their racism? No. No, why? Well, because they're so busy calling President Trump a racist, there's no real room to actually recognize the true racism in the conversation. Reminds me of that, you, no you, no you, no you. And then there's this. You have probably heard the name Saikat Chakrabarti. He is 33 years old. He is from Fort Worth, Texas. I did not know that. In recent weeks, Chakrabarti, who is the chief of staff for U.S. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, a New York Democrat referred to by her initials AOC, has been called a liberal lightning rod, a flamethrower, the voice of a new political movement, even a symbol for Democrat disunity. At a time when Republicans and Democrats are working to shore up party support in advance of the 2020 election, Chakrabarti has been in the news for everything from criticizing House Speaker Nancy Pelosi to comparing moderate Democrats to segregationists. See, nobody is immune to being called a racist, a bigot. Nobody. This is the politicization of bigotry. It started during the Obama administration. You disagree with President Obama, it's not because you disagree with the policy. It's not because you think it's a bad policy that will cost the United States immeasurable amounts of money. It'll kill a bunch of people in the way of the Affordable Care Act. It's not because you disagree with the actual policy. It's because you disagree with President Obama because he's obviously a bigot. No, because you're obviously a bigot. All you care about is the color of his skin, and you can't stand that that's out there. Well, that's complete gobbledygookian crap. That's absolute crap. The president is no more racist than the man in the moon. Just because somebody disagrees with somebody else politically does not make them a racist. But Chakrabarti, this guy is a bomb thrower with a purpose. Here's what he says. You do the biggest, most bad sass thing you can possibly think of. That's going to excite people, and then they're going to vote. The trick is to come up, by the way, what he doesn't say in this is the trick is to come up with something that doesn't turn them so off so much that they vote for your primary opponent. Of course, I don't believe that Ilhan Omar I don't believe that AOC has a primary opponent because of the just plain brown shirt thug tactics being practiced in Queens. Nobody in the Democrat Party is going to put a candidate up to run against her. If you want to know more, go to www.star-telegram.com. That is one article you really need to read. Anna Tinsley wrote it. She, by the way, is a friend of the Wells Report. I think she's brilliant. I think she's absolutely brilliant. The Fort Worth man behind the squad. It's real journalism. AOC's chief of staff, Saikat Chakrabarti. Coming up in just a couple of moments. Somebody in the Democrat Party may indeed be waking up. I know it's too late for the 2020 election, but I wonder if it's too late for the Democrat Party. We're going to be talking about that coming up in just a couple of moments. You're listening to the Wells Report. Our telephone number is 844-RADIO-US. 844-723-4687. Can hardly wait to hear what you have to say. This is the Wells Report on the USA Radio Network.
It is a horrible scenario, but it happens. Dennis writes about his wife. She was diagnosed with leukemia. In fact, she's a 2-time survivor, and in the midst of all that, they ran up over $1 million in medical bills. Thankfully, they're Medi-Share members, and Dennis says they are so thankful for that, how others came together to meet their needs, and that's how so many Medi-Share members feel. This is not health insurance. It's different. You don't have to pay for things you don't believe in, and like Dennis found out, it just works. So if you join Medi-Share, not only do you save a lot of money, the typical family saves about $500 a month, but you know where your money's going each month. You're helping people, and if the time should come, they'll be helping and even praying for you. So yes, it's different, and as more than 400,000 people now know when it comes to healthcare costs, different is beautiful. Find out more. Call 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE. 833-34-BIBLE.
If your credit card bills have gotten out of hand and you care about your credit, call Consolidated Credit now. If the interest rates on your credit cards are so high, it'll take years to get out of debt. Call Consolidated Credit now. They've helped over 6 million people with credit card debt. Without destroying your credit, they can consolidate your debts into one lower payment, reduce your interest rates, and get you out of debt fast. The program works. Call Consolidated Credit now. Call 800-406-0046. 800-406-0046. That's 800-406-0046. Consolidated Credit Counseling Services, Inc., 5701 West Sunrise Boulevard, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, 33313. Licensed by the New York Department of Financial Services and by the Vermont Department of Financial Regulation. Maryland DM 1492. Oregon DM 80092. Licensed by the Virginia State Corporation. Commission license number DC 83. Service may adversely affect the individual's credit. Non-payment of debt may lead to additional finance charges or collections activity, including legal action, not a loan company.
Balance of Nature, changing the world one life at a time.
You guys have a great product, and I tell my friends about it, and I was actually talking to a guy the other day I just met, and he takes them. So you put out a great product, and I want to thank you and your organization.
I just started using it, and my family's already seen the difference. And I have health issues. I have fibromyalgia, asthma, but all of a sudden everything's clearing up, and I'm feeling better, and my skin's better. My brother said I look 10 years younger already.
Wow. Okay.
My vision is clearer. I already see the difference. People are seeing the difference, and my doctor is seeing the difference.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. For a limited time, you can receive a 30% discount and free shipping on your first preferred order of Balance of Nature. Call 800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code USA.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is John David Wells. Our telephone number is 844-RADIO-US, 844-723-4687. So there's a Democrat running for president that is bemoaning identity politics. Yeah. The interesting thing about this is that this is the only, I'm trying to think if there's another Democrat. There is another one, but I can't remember his name. They're real Democrats. They're not leftist, progressive, anti-American thugs. They're actually real Democrat politicians. I don't think that the Democrat Party is going to be able to realize just how serious the damage that's being done by these socialists. They'll learn. It all started with Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders opened the Pandora's box of socialism in the Democrat Party. and the flea and tick and mosquito bites of the pestilence that came out of that Pandora's box of socialism is afflicting the Democrat Party pretty badly right now, ably assisted by these anti-American thugs in the squad, if you will. Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard is a Democrat from Hawaii. She said identity politics are being weaponized to purposefully divide the country. She called for unity during an appearance on The View. You know, the same program that says that people that voted for Donald Trump are bigots. Yeah. Co-host Meghan McCain mentioned the moderate messaging of Gabbard's 2020 presidential campaign, cited a specific email in which he talked about reclaiming patriotism. McCain asked if Gabbard's pro-America, pro-God, pro-gun message would help her stand out in a field of more liberal candidates. She said that it's really centered on freedoms, who we are as Americans. When I wrote that email and sent it out about reclaiming our patriotism, it was a message of a reminder to all of us in this country at a time when we are becoming increasingly divided, where identity politics are being used to tear people apart for political interests, rather than remembering and recognizing what unites us. Similar words have come out of this mouth many times on this broadcast. Gabbard cited the Constitution and said America should acknowledge its political differences without letting things spin out of control. You know, like not enforcing border law. Now, she didn't say that. I did. But spinning out of control is what we've seen the Democrat Party do. It's awful. It's pervasive. If you don't like a law, you just don't defend it, said President Obama when the Defense of Marriage Act was passed and signed. We're just not going to defend it in the Supreme Court. We're not going to enforce it, thereby rendering inert the legislative branch of Congress. Did the legislative branch of Congress do anything about it? Nope. They didn't say a word. They clung to truculent silence. Why? Well, because that's what moderate Republicans do best. Nothing. Gabbard cited the Constitution and said America should acknowledge political differences. The freedoms and principles that are enshrined in the Constitution we continue to strive to uphold as we work toward this more perfect union, recognizing we're going to have some differences. Yeah, we are. And that's okay. But if you can get back in a political discussion to whether or not somebody believes in the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, and they say no, that's because they hate America. Simple. If you're listening to my voice right now and you think the Constitution's wrong, you're anti-America. If you think that the Bill of Rights, that free speech, freedom of religion, that all of this should be crushed in the angry mill of political correctness, you're an anti-American thug. You need to recalibrate. The very freedoms that make this country what it is are under attack by people who hope to lead it. And they need to be shouted down whenever humanly possible. Because I happen to like this country, and I think that most Democrats happen to like this country too. But those aren't the people running for the presidency, except maybe Tulsi Gabbard. Jury's still out. Oh, Delaney was the other guy's name. Jerry Delaney? But the jury's still out on those two. You're listening to the USA Radio Network.
Hi, this is Wayne Alaruth, the capitalist evangelist. I'm here to introduce you to a special company with the potential to be one of the great all-American stories. Fortum Resources is a publicly traded, diversified natural resource company with oil, gas, and mining properties in North America and internationally. Fortum is led by Chairman Mark Bruner, the legendary oil man who built Ultra Petroleum from a 15-cent stock to $200 per share, creating $15 billion in shareholder profits. Mark has 30 years of experience in the oil and gas industry, overseeing contracts with Halliburton, ExxonMobil, and Hess. Fortum has over 350,000 acres of oil and gas resources, and more than half the acreage has been evaluated by world-renowned auditors Deloitte Touche. Fortum also owns the rights to the 180 square mile City of Gold mining property. Fortum is traded on 2 global exchanges, U.S. ticker symbol FTMR. Repeat, FTMR. This is a rare ground floor opportunity to capitalize on a proven energy industry legend. Please visit FortumResources.com. That's Fortum, F-O-R-T-E-M, resources.com.